The State of Crypto is presented by Tron, connecting the world to the power of cryptocurrency.
All right, Jesse is with us. Good morning, Jesse, joining us from Washington, D.C., where all the action takes place. Jesse, it's just lovely to see you again after Austin, where we were together for the conference that really matters in crypto. Let's just start with what's happening at the moment. This document that you're going to talk about, it outlines how the U.S. could work with foreign regulators. As you elaborate on it, do we know if it's solely the U.S. coming up with the best global regulatory framework to suit its own interess, or has it consulted other nations or the EU even before framing this global regulatory, document?
Right. So, good morning. The Treasury Department yesterday did put out this new document that's an answer to the spring executive order from President Joe Biden that called for sort of a wide effort to impose regulation on crypto in the U.S. So this is the first report that came out of Treasury Department, and to answer your question, it's very much, I'd say, a cooperative effort because it leans fairly exclusively on existing relationships. So they set out this description of the international framework that the U.S. would lean on to sort of regulate crypto on a cross-border basis, and it basically, to be frank, there's nothing surprising here. It's just outlining a lot of the efforts that are currently underway with between countries. But the important point, I think, is that this is a start of things. So the executive order requested a number of reports, and this is sort of the first one out of the Treasury Department, and there will be many more, and including 2 in September and 1 in October that'll be really quite important and give us a sort of better roadmap for how the U.S. is going to approach crypto.
Jesse, there have been some reports that the FDIC is looking into these claims by Voyager that their deposits were FDIC insured. Can you just break this down for us a little bit? Like, did Voyager actually sort of flat out mislead people, or was there just some fine print that other people didn't read, or just I'm a little bit confused about this whole FDIC thing?
Yeah, so it is a little confusing. So, Voyager's crypto lending firm is basically accused of suggesting that there was FDIC protection for customers. Is suggesting this in some of its early marketing materials, and frankly, the situation is that's not actually possible. The FDIC doesn't back FDIC insurance doesn't back crypto firm accounts. It only insures cash deposits at banks. And so to the extent that Voyager's bank partner is insured by the FDIC, that's true. So cash deposits for customers that went into that were protected, but only in the event that bank fails, not that Voyager fails. So I guess we're going to be watching to see if we get a response from the FDIC, which acknowledged just yesterday that they were aware of this and they were looking into it. So we'll be waiting for that response from the FDIC or even maybe the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau.
And I hope that doesn't take too long. With government institutions, you never know. But Jesse, tell us what else is happening where you are in Washington, D.C. Are there some new crypto-related developments we should be expecting?
Well, I think probably the most important one is that we're all waiting for the Senate confirmation of Michael Barr, a former Treasury official, and that confirmation is expected pretty soon for him to become the Federal Reserve's vice chairman for supervision, which is a really important bank watchdog. It's probably arguably the most important financial regulator in DC. But what's interesting about Michael Barr is that he actually has a crypto background. He was on the advisory board for Ripple, some years ago. And so this potentially puts somebody who can sort of speak crypto into a really important job at DC. Now, the caveat to that is that he actually is known as a very strong consumer advocate. He is very much in favor of strong regulations of financial firms. So he may be a tough regulator, but at least he's somebody who's going to understand where crypto is coming from.